All right. Good evening, fam. Welcome to the second installment of Conspiracy Crypto. And just like the thumbnail says, today our topic is the sovereign versus slave. All right. Just a couple of settings to take care of. Tonight's topic, first of all, let me say this. I think it is absolutely hilarious that so much has happened here today. If you're new to crypto, you may not know kind of where I grew up in crypto is in the Richard Hart ecosystem, and which turned into the Pulse Chain ecosystem. And there has been a lot of drama that started today. Uh, well, actually, it didn't start today. It's been going on for a long time. And I'll just say this: one of the things we're going to talk about on the crypto side of the show tonight is meme coins and why I think the meme coin communities are a vibrant part of crypto in general, and why I think they bring value to people, normal people in the market, like me and you. Hopefully, the people that are watching the stream tonight. And so, uh, one of the personalities on Pulse Chain today dropped a video that in which he did delved into some of the rugs, which again, if you're new to crypto, a rug pull is just when somebody basically scams a community, right? And just like anywhere else, there's always some snake oil salesman that you've got to watch out for. And the same is true of crypto. Yeah, the the idea that the government protects us from things like that is really preposterous. The government is the biggest criminals that there are. They're kind of like the mafia, basically, right? But you think that they protect you, when in reality, if society would just be left alone, there would always be those people that take advantage of other people, right? We know that people like that in society exist. They're the small minority. Uh, I have my hippie vibe is that I pretty much trust uh, most people. I think are good-hearted, and so until you give me a reason not to trust you, uh, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Now, in crypto, you do have to be very careful. You have to have, uh, you have to always be on the lookout. You have to practice security, but as long as you're practicing security, and you're not revealing a lot of your personal uh, financial information and so forth, you can stay very safe. But there are people that take advantage through coding and being able to manipulate communities. And it's happened on Pulse Chain, just like it has happened on every other blockchain that there is. But one of the personalities in the Pulse Chain community really went the extra mile and put together this a really long video. It's a very well done video. Uh, and I was going to show a little bit of it, but I may link it later, and we may talk about it another time. I didn't have a lot of time to do that much additional show prep to what I had planned prior to today. And so when I woke up this morning and this happened, I thought, man, I wish I had some time. I didn't even have time to watch the video. It's over an hour long. I did watch a couple of short clips um, of other influencers that kind of broke it down for me. But I'll just say this, that I think it's a very positive thing for Pulse Chain. The fact that there are people that are willing to spend as much time as, and the personality that did this, it's no secret, is a gentleman goes by the name of Sota. And, but the fact that somebody was willing to invest that much time to put together, again, I saw clips of it, this unbelievable stream to get his idea across about what happened uh, in terms of some of these rug pulls, some of these people that took advantage of the community over the last year. I think it speaks volumes to the fact that there's a great deal of community engagement. There are people on Pulse Chain that care a great deal about what happens to Pulse Chain. And I didn't agree with all of the conclusions that he came to. However, I applaud anybody that does as much research as it took to put that together. And so I think it's a positive. I think it's a positive that when somebody does something like that, there are people that come out of the woodwork to defend the people that are being incriminated by the video and by the research on chain research that he did. So overall, I think it's a positive thing, and I think again it points to this kind of uh, conspiracy mindset that a lot of people in crypto have, you know. So uh, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and let, let's use that to lead into our kind of our crypto portion, and that is meme coins. So if you're new to crypto, on the website that I'm building, there's a section, and it's not live yet. It will be soon. And those of you that are new, the section is called Bitcoin for Beginners. And it's not that we preach a lot about Bitcoin. Bitcoin in our community and in most of crypto anymore, outside of what we call the maxis, people that just like Bitcoin. And I dare say there are really very few of those anymore. Even the people who say they're Bitcoin maxis, um, chances are they invest in lots of other stuff as well. So, but people outside of crypto, what they know about blockchain technology, generally speaking, is Bitcoin or Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, Bitcoin for beginners, that part of our website, we're not necessarily going to onboard you into Bitcoin, because in our thinking, Bitcoin is kind of like MySpace. It at this point in blockchain development, Bitcoin is old, it's clunky, it takes forever. When Bitcoin first came out, again, for those of you that have been around, you know this, or you may not. You may not have a lot of experience with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, when it came out, think about how transactions were settled via banking institutions, right? If I wanted to send from my bank to your bank, it often took anywhere from 24 to 72 hours. So that's if our transaction happened during the week. If I wanted to settle with somebody overseas, you're talking a week to 10 days, right? So think about that in a modern day, that it would take 2 to 3 days or up to 10 days for me to settle a financial transaction with somebody, to get it verified, for your bank to tell my bank that, yes, that money arrived. Yes, we sent that money. Yes, this person's ledger has diminished by $10,000. This person's banking ledger has increased by 10,000. It's seemingly ridiculous. When Bitcoin came along, Bitcoin could settle a transaction anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes. So amazing speed and accuracy in settling financial transactions. However, Bitcoin came out in 2009, right? So think about how long ago that was, right? Think about how quick technology advances. Now we have blockchains that can settle transactions in literally seconds, almost immediately, you can have financial transactions verified and settled in seconds. It's amazing. So you won't find a lot of people in the communities that I run around in that use Bitcoin for anything other than to hold, as a long-term investment, right? In terms of settling transactions, in terms of doing business, in terms of uh, taking care of personal financial matters. These almost everybody does these on blockchains such as Ethereum or Pulse Chain, uh, the or layer two EVMs. And EVM, again, for those of you new to crypto, EVM is an Ethereum virtual machine. It refers basically to the shared ledger of people that use the Ethereum, that have forked the Ethereum chain, right? That set of code, and all EVM chains are, you can transact. So if you from one EVM to the other, they recognize each other. For example, if you go through an onboarding session with me, we'll set up an EVM wallet, and that will allow you to have the same wallet address across multiple chains. All right, so uh, your address for your Ethereum wallet, your address is the same as your address for your Pulse Chain wallet, is the same as the address for your Polygon wallet or your Matic wallet. So Bitcoin is old technology. Hardly anybody uses it for legit business anymore. However, since that's what most people recognize, that's what we call it. Now, if you're new to whether you're new to crypto or you've been in crypto a while, uh, what I want to talk about real quick tonight in our kind of the crypto side of things is why meme coins I think are so important, and I think that this main point is missed by a lot of people. So when you think of meme coins, you think of the granddaddy meme coin, which would be like Dogecoin, right? Shiba Inu. These are uh, cryptocurrency communities that developed around a meme. Everybody knows what a meme is. It's something that's kind of become, in society, people recognize it. One of our projects is called, well, our first project was called the MILF token, right? Well, the term MILF is a meme itself. Everybody knows what that racy term means. Now, we took it and did something else with it, but it's attached to that meme. And so what happens in crypto is that these communities evolve and develop around these particular tokens that take on a certain personality that's related to a meme. All right. Pepe is a meme token, right? There's not necessarily any particular utility. For example, Hex, which is a Richard Heart, was the Richard Heart OG token. Hex is a utility token. It works like a savings account where you can lock your tokens. It's called mining or staking. You can lock your tokens in a contract that's on the blockchain and earn yield. All right. So very much, when Hex came out, they called it the first certificate of deposit on the blockchain, right? So there's a utility that's not a meme token, but for example, the MILF token, that's a pure meme. It's meant for you to call to mind a certain meme that everybody understands, and then we've added some juice to it so that it fits our model of what we want to do with it. Okay. And I think what people miss about meme coins and why I think they're going to be the part of the market in this crypto cycle that really blows up is it allows communities to monetize their online entertainment and social media time. So up until now, for example, if you're spending a lot of time on social media, it doesn't matter whether you're on Facebook, on TikTok, right? All of these platforms, they mine your time and then monetize it, right? Based on how much time you spend scrolling, based on the ads that you click, based on the sites that you visit, right? You're the product that they are mining. You're the one that's spending your time in these environments on these platforms. You're the person that is investing your energy into maybe building a following, so forth and so on, and yet you're not compensated for it. The platform receives all of the monetary benefit from the time that you spend on social media or on your entertainment online, right? Well, meme tokens is a way that communities have figured out how to monetize the time that they spend either on social media or on entertainment, right? So I'll speak from experience. We one of the communities that um, not too long after the scamdemic started, I started hanging out and watching streams, and that's when I really started taking an interest in crypto. And at the time, there were a ton of hex influencers, right? People that maintained social media platforms that were dedicated to hex and building the RH ecosystem. Okay, and one of the people that I stumbled onto was a gentleman by the name of Randy Hilarski. And I can use his name because he uses his name, right? He's out there. He's one of the people that we trust. Okay. And I know this won't set well with Soda because I think Randy's group may have been implicated in the video that Soda put out that I was talking about earlier. However, my experience with Randy is that he's a stand-up guy. And what happened is Randy's following became pretty substantial. And he would stream several times a week. He knew a lot about crypto. He was an OG, so to speak, in the sense that uh, he knew a lot about Bitcoin. He had already, by the time I came across Randy, he had years of helping people uh, launch projects on the blockchain, and so he spoke from experience, and he was very entertaining. Well, as his audience grew, it became much more refined, right? Whereas the original Randy Hilarski was probably more like my channel is now. We're going to speak a lot of basic stuff to newcomers. We're going to that's hopefully what our channel is going to do is bridge the gap between newcomers and new onboards coming into the space and people in the space that also enjoy talking about conspiracies and so forth. So Randy's audience grew, and ultimately he kind of had to dedicate. He kind of had to split his time, and so he started a Patreon. We all, all of the OG Randy Hilarski followers, we got into the Patreon. Well, ultimately, what happened was that community of people, once the bull market kind of started, we started launching projects. And so there was a lot of capital being brought into the community or being put into projects from the community, right? So when other projects from outside the community wanted to attract attention and so forth, they would come into our community and shill their projects, right? And then our community members, we either liked the project or we didn't like the project. We either understood the project or we didn't understand the project. Either way, we kind of vetted a lot of these other projects, outside projects for our community members. It was just kind of a natural process, right? In doing so, what happened was we were basically monetizing the time that we spent online, right? I cannot tell you the number of free tokens that I received in my wallet just from being a part of the community. So that's a perfect example of a group of people with a common goal. We want to learn about crypto. We want to make some money in crypto. Uh, we want to be safe in crypto. We want to learn how to do it the right way. Got together, and it turned into a substantial financial gain for a lot of people in that community. All right. So we have basically taken the time that we spent educating ourselves, having a good time. I mean, hey, before the bull market got started, Randy would spend one night a week would be kind of a gambling night where he would gamble online with some of his bag. And when he won, Randy's a lucky guy. I think we all are in the Nope community. Nope stands for no permissions. No permissions. PE is the permissions part. And again, there's these communities kind of take on a flavor of their own. We're all in the no permissions group. We're all freedom loving people, right? You won't. You also probably won't find a lot of vaccinated people in there. So we're all kind of the same mindset. But what getting together in that group meant for all of us is that rather than giving our money away to Facebook, and rather than giving our money away to all these other platforms, YouTube and so forth, we were able to generate from inside the community a great deal of value that benefited all of us, right? And now that's mostly how we have branched out. Now there are several people like me in the community that have YouTube channels and that stream and kind of have branched up into different sections. Randy's group grew so much that now he's got people coming into our private calls that he made a comment the other day that the new people really aren't getting anything out of it because we have advanced our knowledge of blockchain so much in the projects that we're involved in. New people coming in, just it's not a very inviting environment. It's like talking to a brain surgeon about his day at the office, right? We're not going to get a lot of it, right? So uh, people like me have started channels, and we're going to cater more to people that are brand new to the market. All right, so we're gonna take that load. So I'll tell you another story. One of the other groups on Pulse Chain is called the Tang Gang, and these guys, I'm an HOA 69420 holder, and for those of you that don't know what that is, again, here's another aspect where I've been able to take the time that I spent learning about blockchain and developing relationships with people online, Whereas before, I might do that on Facebook or I might do that on Instagram, and those platforms would receive the benefit of the time that I spent engaged on those platforms. In this case, I've been able to take that time and monetize it, right? As a 69,420 holder, the Tengangs, their main token that they identify with is the hex orange address. And I don't even want to go into that's an inside joke in itself. And again, pointing to the fact that these meme communities, uh, they really speak to the individuals that are in the group, right? We share a common bond because there are these jokes, these inside jokes that we all get, right? And but people who hold a certain amount of this token, the hex orange address, the HOA coin, are often rewarded with airdrops. An airdrop is just a free giveaway that a project gives to people in other communities. And again, I cannot tell you, I've lost count the number of free tokens that I've received just because I was hanging out with these guys that started the first uh, autonomous, they call it an autonomous decentralized marketing agency. So if you're new to crypto, um, what I will tell you is this, that the place to learn about crypto, find a meme, find a community that you enjoy. Hopefully this will be one, right? As a conspiracy guy, and again, I hate that term, although that's what everybody's familiar with. As a truth seeker, one of the first communities that I fell into, yeah, hey, Mr. Let's see, M Rock Jockey. All right, yeah, Dave. Hey, I've actually invited Dave on to talk about Dome Shot, so hopefully that'll be upcoming soon. I'll basically do. I don't think he can do Wednesday evenings or something. He couldn't last week, and Matt was busy, but I definitely want to get them on. In fact, after this stream, after this, I'll have everything listed on my YouTube channel. If you're new to crypto, you'll get a free onboarding consultation if you sign up for Dave Weiss's platform is the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app by Blue Water Bay, I think is the company. But if you use my referral code is Beard, BEARD, and if you sign up using my referral code, you'll get a free 30-minute onboarding session. I'll show you how to open a wallet, or how to have a wallet, how to open a Coinbase account and fund the wallet, all just the basic preliminary stuff that a no coiner might want to get started with. And if you're already into crypto, same thing applies. I'll answer, I'll spend time with you answering whatever questions you have. But anyway, so thanks a lot for that suggestion. We hope to have Dave or Matt or maybe both of them on here in the very near future. Again, that's another example of people with a common, something in common that we would call a meme, right? People make fun of flat earthers, even though we're all flat earthers. Some of us don't realize it yet. And yet here's a project that just because I was involved with the community, I got a free airdrop last week, right? And these meme communities, I think over the course of the bull run, and if you're new to crypto, when we're talking about the bull run, we kind of follow these 4-year cycles. A lot of people think they have to do with the Bitcoin halvening, with the way Bitcoin works. A lot of people think it has to do with the global liquidity cycle. Whatever or a combination thereof, it doesn't matter. the money moves in and out of crypto in these cycles. And we're kind of in the middle of a bull run right now. This year, 2024 was what's called the Bitcoin halving year. Uh, and we could, again, I don't want to get off on too many tangents. Uh, and we should continue to, if everything plays out the way it has in the past, we should continue to see a rising market that lifts all boats for the next maybe 12 to 18 months, right? And it's going to be these communities that have, again, my concept of them is they are monetizing their online activity, they're monetizing their social media time, they're monetizing their entertainment time, and these are going to be the winners in this next bull run. All right. Uh, Now, one of the things that I hope the channel does also does is bridging the gap between already established communities in the conspiracy world or in the truther world that may not have even thought about crypto, right? Uh, but there is a way to bring value to your subscribers, to your listeners, that rewards both them and you. It's a way to keep the uh, the value, rather than uh, super chats, for example, on YouTube, right? When you do a super chat on YouTube, if somebody gives you $100 super chat on YouTube, well, YouTube is going to take, I think, I want to say either 40 or 60%, right? The person you're wanting to give the money to, the influencer, uh, really gets less than half of it, right? Well, what if there were a simple way through crypto where all that value comes to you? Or when you do giveaways, what if you could bring value through a meme token to your subscribers, right? To the people uh, that watch your stream, to the people that participate in your meetings, right? What a great way to bring value to an already established community. So, um, all right. Hey, thanks a lot, Jockey. I really appreciate that. Yeah. We're going to talk about Rags a little bit later too. He inspired, one of the things we're going to do is a musical moment. If you're a hippie, you probably have some good musical taste, and I know I do. And so I kind of venture into a lot of stuff that is out of the norm. And so one of the things we're going to occasionally do is a hippie musical moment. And tonight's musical moment is actually inspired by Brandon from Rags to Riches. Um, so so guys, that's what I think about meme coins. If you're new to crypto, I want to invite you to keep coming back to this space. There are lots of influencers. Again, hopefully in the next this weekend, I'll have the website up, the Crypto Hippies website, and there will be a whole list of references. Uh, One of the uh, a lot of the value that I hope we bring is that me and the people I hang around with, are the crypto hippies. We've been at this for several years, right? We have seen people, influencers, come and go. We have vetted an awful lot of people, and hopefully all of the links, it'll be kind of a one-stop reference shop for you where you can go and you know that the people that you're going to be or that we're going to recommend, Rags is one of them, our friend Rags to Riches, that these are people that are genuine. Most of them will be people that we've actually met in person. And by our standards, they bring considerable value both to the Pulse Chain community and to crypto in general. And we have, as crypto hippies, we have decided that they know what they're talking about, right? So hopefully you'll be able to visit the website, in the next week or so. And for those of you that are already crypto enthusiasts, it'll be something that you can share with your onboards. Rather than having to mansplain or crypto hippie splain to your new onboards, people you're talking, you can just point them to one place and say, hey, all these guys are good to go. You know that you can go watch any of these influencers or go to any of these websites or take part in any of these projects, and they've been vetted. Uh, you're not going to get scammed by them, so forth and so on. So that's one of the things I hope that we can do of value for new onboards and for the community. All right, guys. So meme coins. That I just think that's where it's going to be at this crypto cycle, and I think people coming into crypto brand new, man, just find some people you vibe with. It's not any different than going to a party, right? You walk into a party or a wedding reception or whatever, you know, you've got a good feel for where you can hang out, right? Where the cliques are that you're going to get along with, and crypto is no different. Man, there's all kinds of personalities. There's going to be people that you come across, influencers, channels, uh, Twitter accounts that resonate with you, and that's where you should be hanging out, right? That's where you're going to get value from these meme coin communities. So now, the next thing we're going to talk about this evening, and I learned a lot last week on my first stream. Number one is time goes by. I want to keep all our streams under an hour. Time goes by super fast. So I've already about 10 minutes over. Uh, so to break up the segment, we're going to go ahead and I haven't even looked at any of my notes other than the first topic, but we're going to skip to our hippie musical moment. And it's about 60 seconds. And again, this week's musical moment was is brought to you by Rags to Riches. And Rags he probably came on into the Pulse Chain community. I want to say it's been about 3 years ago. And he started his channel. His channel was called Rags to Riches Community. And probably about, I want to say 2 years ago, I met Rags and Matt, Crypto Heartbeat, again, another influencer in the Pulse Chain community, at an event in Waco, Texas, when they were launching or getting ready to launch the Texan token. And man, both of these guys are stand-up guys. They're very smart. They know a lot about business in general. They know a lot about crypto now. They've launched their own projects. And Rags was involved. My in real life job is I'm a high school band director, and I've been doing that for 30 years. So I basically turned my favorite elective in high school into a career. And Rags, when I met him, told me he was a trumpet player and that he actually participated. And I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was a trumpet player and that he participated in this musical activity that most people are not aware of exists, called Drum Corps International. Now, if you were in high school band, you kind of have an idea what a marching band is like. Drum Corps is an activity. So, a lot of kids play Little League, but then in the fall, they play in these select leagues. So, Drum Corps is like the select league of marching band kids. right? And you can participate in these drum corps ensembles from the time you're 15 until the time you're 21, and then you age out. And going to a drum corps international show or competition, it's absolutely mind blowing. It's a mix of music and theater and athleticism that you just can't imagine. So we're going to have a musical moment here, and this is dedicated to Brandon from Rags to Riches. And I hope you enjoy it again. It is Drum Corps International. And first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I can share this stream properly. Hey guys, I told you I'm learning all about StreamYard and we're doing it on the fly, so I apologize that it's taking a little bit of time uh, to do this. It's going to be worth it though when I figure out how to share my screen. All right, we are almost there. And I'm just going to check and make sure. Yeah, we are good to go. All right, this is about a 60 to 90-second clip of the Bluecoats from 2014. And this is just one guy's top 10 list. Check this out. This is your hippie musical moment dedicated to Brandon from Rags to Riches. All right. Is that crazy or what? That is crazy. Guys, if you ever get a chance to go to a live DCI competition, man, go do it. These kids that do this, they're some of the most talented, athletic people you can imagine. They do things that are just amazing. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. And now we're going to get into our main topic as soon as I figure that out. Hey, look at that. All right, guys. So hopefully from time to time, we're going to bring you some of the stuff that has moved me musically in my life. I think music's real important, and hopefully we can share some of that stuff. And you'll be able to share some of your stuff at some point as our audience grows. So we're going to talk tonight about now. It's going to be just briefly uh, about the difference between sovereign versus slave. If you believe the standard narrative, and I did forever, right? You believe what we're taught in school, that America was founded on a certain set of principles, that we came here to escape religious persecution and religious tyranny, right? And that our founding fathers had our best interest in mind, so forth and so on. This is what we learned in school. It's what they still teach in school today. You believe that there's a constitution, that constitution affords protection of your God-given rights. Um, and yet, when the scamdemic happened in 2020, and I had already been, um, by 2020, I already knew I hadn't voted since George Bush Jr., right? Because I had already figured out, number one, that voting doesn't matter. I mean, if you're a real truth seeker, you this is one of the first things you figured out. These people are selected. Um, oh wow! I saw that, and just I'm watching some of the chat come through. I saw that Rags had changed his Twitter handle here earlier this week. That was the first time I noticed it, and I thought to myself, "Oh, he's kind of going off in a new direction," and so that's pretty cool. I'll probably I need to get in touch with Rags and see if he'll come on. Anyway. Uh, so by the time the scandemic happened, I hadn't voted in years. I knew these guys are all criminals. I don't care who you vote for. You, they are going to continue their march to impede your rights, to get more and more control. It's just the left is going to do it. The so-called left is going to do it a lot quicker. The so-called right is going to, make you believe they're fighting for you on the way, but in the end, they're all going to the same place, taking away your rights, and making sure that they confiscate as much of your property along the way, right? So, however, what shocked me about the scamdemic is, and really it kind of sent me into a depression, was that none of the rights that I thought that I had, because I thought they were pretty well spelled out, I mean, in the Bill of Rights, but none of those rights applied. And so uh, the other part of that is that the people who control the legislature, who control the mechanisms by which tyranny presents itself in our society, um, number one, these people are deceitful. They're not going to come, they don't come out and tell you. They deceive you the whole way. There is always a remedy, but they're not going to come out and give you the remedy, right? You have to figure that out yourself. And even then, even when you stand up and you say, hey, I demand to be treated in such and such a way, uh, unless you're very firm in your knowledge of how to do that, they're more than likely going to trick you into their jurisdiction again, right? So when the scamdemic happened, hey, bright lights, what's up, man? We just finished talking about meme coins. We had our little hippie musical moment, and now we're talking about the topic at hand, which is sovereign versus slave. And when the scamdemic happened for me is when I realized it's not that I had to fight the people, the tyrants, right? I already knew the cabal, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, right? The arm of people that seek to govern you uh, uh, tyrannically, right? I already knew these people at the top existed, so forth and so on. What I didn't count on was that everybody in between them and me were the people I really had to worry about it. And those people are true believers, right? Those people are people that believe they're doing the right thing by taking away your rights, right? And they do not understand, all the people in between, they do not understand the remedies by which free men and women can legally and constitutionally protect ourselves from the tyranny of the people that have taken over our government and use it for their own benefit. Okay, so that's what freaked me out during the scamdemic, and again, it really sent me into kind of a depression, and sent me to digging, because then I realized, oh my gosh, I've got to figure out how to protect myself, right? And so what really came to mind, or came to my attention then, is that this is one of the biggest conspiracies of them all, right? And by then I was already a flat earther. That's a pretty big conspiracy, or truth, part of the truth movement. But when I realized the level of deceit that the government uses to keep the populace in check and to deprive them of their unalienable rights, it really shocked me. It really shocked me. So the first thing that I want to talk about is, well, there are several things that I want to bring to mind. And again, we're not going to be able to get into a lot of details about any of these. This is just kind of a gloss over for people that may not even understand that there are these different jurisdictions. Okay. So again, we all think that the Constitution guarantees our rights. And the way the system operates, this is true for a select group of people, but false for most, right? For most people that walk into a court in our day and age, if you tell the judge that, if you demand your constitutional rights, they're most likely just going to laugh at you. They're going to tell you that you don't have any rights. They'll tell you to your face. And unless you know who you are with relationship to the state, and the state meaning the capital S state, the government in general, unless you know who you are, and unless you know the remedies that they have in place and that they have hidden from the average man, you're not going to be able to ascertain your rights. You're not going to be able to guarantee yourself your rights. Okay. So they've done this in a number of ways. So, number one is, how many people know that there are several versions of the Constitution? Right? How many people even know what the term Constitution means? Again, we're brought up believing one thing, being taught one thing. And the people that are teaching us in school are also the people, that control the media. It's all propaganda, right? If you look up the term Constitution in Black's Law Dictionary, and hey guys, Black's Law Dictionary, that's kind of what governs. There's words mean things, but they don't mean what you think they mean, right? In in the realm of the legal system, the common words that we use don't mean what you think they do, right? So the word Constitution is not just this protective overlay. It really is a debt contract. All right. So the Constitution was designed to nullify, or to give the original 13 colonies a way out of the debt that they had amassed during the Revolution, right? And I mean, we really didn't need the Constitution. We had the Articles of Confederation, and everything was working fine, right? Uh, but the people that had funded the revolution here in America wanted to share the burden, that burden of debt, amongst the 13 colonies, amongst the 13 states. And they did so through this Constitution, right? Now, it did give us also the Bill of Rights, right? Which protect us if we know how to use it. So the first thing is that the Constitution isn't what you think it is. It's actually a debtor's instrument, okay, in international law. The next thing I want you to consider is this: prior to the 14th Amendment being passed, the term citizen in the courts and in the Constitution was with a capital C. because a citizen was a citizen of one of the several states, right? Not a citizen of the United States. There's no there up until the 14th Amendment, there was no such thing as a citizen of the United States. Okay? That is it's a fictitious people that are citizens of the United States. Those are fictitious uh, legal entities, corporations, right? A citizen prior to the 14th Amendment with a capital C, those were citizens of one of the several states, all right? Completely different. A capital C citizen owes their allegiance to the state in which uh, the state that they were born in. Okay, and that state being a landmass, not a state of. All right, so that's another thing to consider. That's another way they've kind of uh, cheated us into their jurisdiction. All right. Remember, all government is by the consent of the governed. Right? So if you wonder, man, how can government do this? How can government do that? How can the IRS do this? How can these taxing entities, how can they do that? How can they take somebody's property? It's because somewhere along the way, we have consented to it, either directly or by acquiescence, right? By not saying no, we've consented to it. All right. So that's another thing. Next thing is this I want you to consider the original Constitution, which was ratified in 1789 or signed in 1789, if I'm not mistaken, uh, is the Constitution for the United States of America. Okay. For the United States of America. And United States, all lowercase, of America. Okay. In 1861 or somewhere in there, or I guess it was after the 14th Amendment, what began to be used was a rewriting of the Constitution. And that Constitution is titled the Constitution of the United States of America, and United States being capitalized. Okay. This is a different document. By virtue of the word of, and by virtue of the capitalization, by virtue of them taking out the capital C for citizens, this became a different document. Okay. This became the document by which they began to deceive the American people into a jurisdiction that does not give them the Bill of Rights, the protections of the Bill of Rights. Okay. If you look up the term of, and I want to say it's one of the early versions of Black's Law Dictionary, the term of can also mean in a legal document without. All right. So the Constitution of the United States of America is the Constitution without the United States of America. All right. The state of Texas is not Texas. The state of Texas is the state without Texas. All right. These are jurisdictional, legalistic entities. They are not the same as Texas or Maryland or Florida. Okay. These are geographic locations on a landmass, right? Completely different. Okay. Men and women are born on the land, on a landmass. All right. Jurisdictional legal entities or corporations are created in a state of. All right. They're created on paper, right? Everybody talks about your straw man, right? Your all caps name is not you. We've been led to believe that the name on your driver's license, the name on your birth certificate in all caps, that this is the same as you. It is not the same. It's not treated the same by the government. It's not treated the same jurisdictionally. And it's one of the ways that as we go through um, these these shows that are going to talk about how to protect yourself, it's one of the ways you get remedy, and that is by knowing who you are and being able to explain and defend yourself to the state, to the national government, to the courts, to all the three-letter agencies that you're not that jurisdictional entity. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about, the next thing that they used uh, outside of the wordplay that is so evident, once you start to have eyes to see, is the 14th Amendment. Okay. Now, if you don't think there have always been, and there are now, two different governments running our country. Okay. One of them is the Republic, and one of them is the what we operate in most of the time, and that is the Congressional United States. Okay, that falls under the jurisdiction of Article 1, Section 8. All right. The 14th Amendment is what kind of allowed all this to be done. Okay. The 14th Amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens, lowercase c, of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. All right, guys? So I want you to think about this. It does not say all persons are naturalized in the United States are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Okay? It says, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. This means that there must be persons that are born or naturalized in the United States that are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Do you see what I'm saying? Listen again. This is the 14th Amendment, and this is one of the word plays that they used to enslave free men and otherwise free men and women like you and I. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a minute too. So it says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to, not are subject to, but it says and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. All right. There's two jurisdictions, right? They're just not going to tell you you don't have to be in their jurisdiction, right? You don't have to comply with the statutory regulations of all the three-letter agencies if you understand this one thing, right? There are more than one jurisdiction, legal jurisdiction in this country that we call the United States of America. And you get to pick, right? You get to pick. They're just not going to tell you how you go about that. All right. So the 14th Amendment, contrary to what a lot of people think, and contrary to what we're taught in public schools, contrary to what they're still brainwashing our kids with, does not it didn't free anybody. In fact, what it did is it enslaved everybody. All right. So the 14th Amendment is one of the ways they did that. The next thing that they had to do um, after they started this process of putting us into a separate category, and that would be the, let's find it. Um, let's see. I've got lots of tabs open here. All right. So, and here's another little tidbit I found. We were talking about the 14th Amendment and the different versions of the Constitution, right? The original Constitution uh, was changed to the word of, right? Sounds the same, right? The Constitution for the United States of America, the Constitution of the United States of America. You're thinking, what's the difference? Again, it's a big difference. In the original Constitution of 1789, you have unalienable rights. Again, you should look up Black's Law Dictionary, what unalienable means, or what the word lien means. And then I believe in it, I think it was in 1861, it might have been 1871, the United States became incorporated. All right. We also went under during the Civil War under a military rule that really has never been. Uh, we've never come out of that, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. Just know that all these play on words, they have a legal meaning that constrict our freedoms or strip us of our freedoms. All right. So let's read Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. Okay. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. And a lot of people think this is where the founders messed up by giving Congress this authority, because this is where they get the legal authority to take away our rights. Okay. Let's see. All right, Article 1, Section 8, among an entire list of other things, it says, the Congress shall have power to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square as may, by cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of the government. So they're talking about the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be, for the erection of forts, magazines, blah, blah, blah. To make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers and all other powers vested by the Constitution in the government of the United States or in any department or officer thereof. Okay. So what Congress has done is they've taken the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C., the seat of the federal government, okay, and they have tricked or brought in the population of the several states and made them believe that they are citizens of that property, right, of that area. And they've done this through all these play on words that I've been talking about, making us believe that we are citizens with a small c of the United States, which is defined here as the 10 mile square radius that we know as Washington, D.C., right? When in reality, the Constitution says they only have authority to pass all of these laws, what we'll call statutory regulations, for the people that actually live there, right? Or who reside there. But unless you know who you are, unless you know where your allegiance is, you're not going to be able to defend yourself, because you're going to think, oh, yeah, of course I'm a citizen of the United States. When in reality, you are not unless you agree to be. And most everybody, by virtue of the fact that we have taken part or accepted some benefits from the federal government, such as Social Security, so forth and so on, right? When we do that, what we're doing is we're contracting with them and we're telling them, hey, I want to play in your sandbox, right? That gives them jurisdiction over you. It gives them authority. and you have no idea that you even did it, right? Because they didn't come out and say, hey, there's these two jurisdictions. You can be part of the republic where you get to retain all of your rights, you get to function in the private, okay? Or you can come over here and play with us. We'll take care of you. However, you're not going to have those rights. You're going to be operating in the public, right? There's a private side of the United States that belongs to the people of the republic, to we the people, okay? And there is a public side of the United States where you've agreed to let Congress basically govern you in any way they see fit, right? And in that jurisdiction, you don't have the Bill of Rights. You don't have any remedy because most of the people operating in the public have no clue that there's an alternative. It's not taught in the public schools. It's not taught in legal institutions. Most attorneys have no clue what's going on in a courtroom. All right. So that's another play on words. Now, the next thing I want to do is just real quick touch a couple of guys. We've gone way longer. I can't believe time goes so fast. So we're going to basically end the stream here. I think we've covered a lot. We talked about meme coins. We talked about some of the ways that the government defrauds us into their jurisdiction where they can govern us harder, and so to speak. And hopefully this was just kind of a primer on some of those things to get us to get people. Again, I'm hoping that the show is going to bridge the gap between people who have kind of lived their lives under the assumptions that we're all taught in school, right? I hope this is kind of just kind of to be a bridge to cause people to investigate further. Again, as I get better at streaming, we'll probably kind of hone in to certain aspects of this. But I hope this got us thinking, and I hope the show was enjoyable. And we're going to end the stream with that little tidbit. Again, we're free men and women, but in our society, in the world we live in, if you don't know how to defend yourself and how to, what's called in the legal world, how to have standing and how to claim your rights, the system will walk all over you. It's intended to do that. They do it brazenly. And so my hope is that the channel, the website that'll be going up soon, will be a resource for us to all learn how to protect ourselves and to take back our sovereignty, so to speak. All right, guys, I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. And we may do a couple of little streams in between, but we'll for sure be back next Wednesday for another installment of Conspiracy Crypto. Oh, hey guys, I forgot to tell you this. I wore this shirt last week. I'll probably wear it all the time. The top of it matches perfect with my attitude. You can't tell me what to do. The bottom part is because you're not my granddaughters. I have 4 amazing granddaughters, and when you get to be at my stage in life, you kind of realize what life's all about. Thank goodness it didn't come to me too late, but I kind of like that little play on words. I don't like the government telling me what to do. My granddaughters are the only people that can tell me what to do. So hopefully, again, some of the episodes that are forthcoming will be some concrete ways that we can do that, and that you guys can come along. So guys, have a great week, and we'll see you next week here at Conspiracy Crypto.